Popcorned Planet. I am Andy Signore. We're still here live in Vegas. The trial ends around 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be live doing our post show, but I wanted to bring to you these quick testimonies from two officers, the first two officers who entered the complex, and both of them expose Amber and her lies. They're like, there were no injuries, there was nothing. Nothing seemed abnormal, and I want you to hear their own words to see how they described the
Officer Melissa Saenz.
They came up to the penthouse with us. I believe they just accessed the elevator.
And when you arrived at the penthouse and exited the elevator, was it just you and your partner, Officer Hadden?
Yes.
And what did you do next?
We tried to listen for any kind of sounds of domestic violence. We checked the hallways. We didn't observe anyone.
Did you see anything that indicated a crime?
I did not.
Up until the point where you knocked on that door, did you see or hear or witness anything indicating that there had been a domestic perpetrated?
I did not.
Up until you knocked on that door, did you see anything which you would have considered out of the ordinary?
I did not. We waited for them to exit. I don't remember how much time passed by, and they came out, and that's when we were met with his girlfriend and who I know now as Miss Heard in the hallway.
And up until that point in time, did you hear anything that led you to believe that a crime had been committed?
I did not.
In the hallway, how far were you standing from Miss Heard?
It was close, probably 2 to 5 feet.
And at that time, did you notice any injuries on Miss Heard?
I did not.
Were you looking to see if she had any injuries at that time?
Yes, I was.
So you were looking to see if Miss Heard had any injuries, and you determined that she did not. Is that accurate?
Correct.
And was the lighting good enough in the hallway for you to make that determination?
Yes, the hallways was well lit.
Did you ask Miss Heard what happened?
Yes, I did.
At that time, was Miss Heard cooperative?
Miss Heard was uncooperative.
Uncooperative.
Thank you. During the protective sweep of the first penthouse, did you hear or see anything that made you believe an act of domestic had occurred?
I did not.
Do you believe that you had enough time viewing Miss Heard to determine whether or not she had sustained any injuries?
Yes, I do.
And did you determine that she sustained any injuries?
I determined that she did not sustain any injuries.
Question, during the entire time you were at the penthouses during the incident, did you witness any bruises on Miss Heard?
I did not observe any injuries on Miss Heard.
Did you observe any swelling on Miss Heard's face?
I did not.
Did you observe anything that led you to believe that she was a victim of domestic?
I did not.
Yeah.
All right, before we get to Officer 2, it's just very telling. That testimony is so telling, and she was not cooperative. Again, this all goes to the audio tape we've already heard where she's like, I didn't even call them. I.O. did. I didn't mean to. The whole story is just so clearly being told. And when you have this many discrepancies, the fact that, look, it's usually a he said, she said, right? But when you have all this stuff and you can really paint it out and all these witnesses, including officers, are confirming it, and you know that she's lying, how much more credibility does she need to throw away for people to finally be like, all right, yeah, this was clearly defamation. I really think this testimony is intense, and it wasn't just her. So here's the Tyler Hadden who's came in with her.
You had seen this mark close enough to be able to see it. Would you have believed you had an obligation to prepare a report?
No, because I don't know what this is from.
Would you agree it's a red mark on her face?
Yeah, from what I saw was red from her crying. There was no red marks from any other thing. It was consistent with her crying.
Officer Hadden, in reviewing this picture, does it appear that there's an injury on Ms. Heard's face?
No.
You would say that doesn't evidence an injury?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't see an injury.
I'm trying to understand when I say if you see evidence of injuries and property damage, is that evidence of a crime in your mind?
Yes, if the person didn't do it themselves. I mean, I can damage my own property and it's not a crime. Pink cheeks and pink eyes.
Do you recognize that as a potential injury on her face?
Knowing what our investigation revealed, no, that pink's consistent with crying.
What do you mean by what your investigation revealed?
That it was a verbal dispute, and she refused that she had any injury, Just because I see a female with pink cheeks and pink eyes doesn't mean that something happened. They could
Right.
they should be sad and crying that their dog died.
Did you perceive
Right.
any signs of injury on her face or anywhere else on her body that was visible to you?
No.
So you decided that there was only a verbal dispute,
Yeah, based off of the testimony and everything else. Yes, Elaine.
therefore it didn't constitute domestic.
From the information or lack of information I was able to receive from the witness and the information my partner gathered, yes.
Is it your understanding that a police officer can be brought up on charges of misconduct if they engage in neglect of duty?
Yes.
Wait,
Is it also-
what was that a threat? Did she just threaten the officer? You know, sir, we could have you fired.
So your understanding that a police officer can be brought up on misconduct charges at the LAPD if they violate department policies, rules, or procedures?
Yes.
And it,
Yes. Why are we going here, Elaine? And notice he's still holding firm.
is it your understanding that a police officer can be brought up on charges of misconduct if they engage in conduct which may tend to reflect unfavorably upon the employee or the department?
Yes.
So why? So first of all, most important takeaway: both officers, him and her,
Officer Melissa.
agree that nothing happened. They spoke to her, they witnessed, they looked. I asked the team who was watching, because I'm catching up, that they also allegedly, I think they both confirmed what the body cam says, that there was no damage. Like nothing showed that there was something happening that they needed to ask more questions and look. And these were the first officers that came in. There were 2 rounds of officers, and then the second round that came in had a body cam recording, and so we can watch it. And nothing. There's nothing. I think there was some glass one point, but yeah, the way Amber described it in her deposition and everything else was just like a bomb exploded, and there's just no proof of that. There's no proof of that, and these officers came in. And what's so frustrating is even in the UK trial, these officers' testimony wasn't. I don't even think he didn't even hear it. I just how do you not take this testimony and have this be all the evidence you really need? You know what I mean? It's entirely frustrating how we are still here having to put more and more out there to defend when it's clear all this stuff's been out there. And to know these officers are both agreeing. What was Johnny paying them too, Elaine? I mean, it's insane. They're desperate. They're always on the defense because they have to be. That's what they are. And I'm intrigued to see how Elaine's trying to debunk them is by saying, well, you could be fired if you're lying. Like almost like she's so desperate. It's wild, guys. So it was a third who, and then we got to see the body cam footage of that. We'll show that tonight on our live. That tape has been out there a while, so it's nothing new. But I wanted to make sure you guys who are catching up know that these officers are all in agreement. Multiple officers, 2 visits, body cam footage. It all aligns. Amber wasn't telling the truth about what happened, given everything they witnessed. And these officers are trained to look. This idea that they didn't see it, the idea that she put makeup on after the incident, enough with this makeup stuff. And actually, L'Oreal has now privatized their Twitter, I heard. I'm going to verify that. We'll talk about it tonight live, but that's also telling for you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for all alerts so you can get notified when we have more videos about this. We got weeks more of coverage, and we will keep you updated, and I cannot wait until Amber takes a stand, because that's when it's going to get really juicy. I appreciate all you Planeteers who've been joining us. Stay tuned. We'll be live today after the trial day. Around 5:30 Eastern Standard Time is usually when we start. Thank you, guys. We got Taj Jackson, Michael Jackson's nephew. It's going to be a doozy of a show, so make sure you join us. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit the join. Become a member. Watch the other videos. Love you guys.